Welcome to Mooney Reads. My name is Beck, and today I'm going to be talking about the Trans Rights Readathon and the Queer Weekend. You all might be familiar with the Queer Weekend. It is a part of the Queer Lit Readathon. At the halfway point between full rounds, they have a weekend where you're supposed to focus on queer books. The Trans Rights Readathon is a newer readathon that runs from March 20th through 27th, and the main two goals are to read a ton of books by trans authors and to donate to trans people or organizations that support trans people. So this is sort of decentralized funding efforts. Each person who's participating is going to be supporting a group or person of their choosing. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the organization that I'll be donating to and encouraging other people to donate to, and I'll talk a little bit about my reading plans. The organization that I'm going to be donating to and encouraging other people to donate to is My Sistah's House. This is a housing initiative in Memphis, Tennessee that's focused on trans people of color. They have emergency housing, they do various things with mutual aid, put packages together to give to people who are on the streets, and their most recent kind of big project has been to make tiny homes for Black trans women to own in the area. So there are actually 3 different avenues to donate to My Sistah's House, which is one of the reasons I didn't want to set up a particular fundraiser like on another site. You can either donate directly to their PayPal, you can donate to the GoFundMe for the tiny houses, or they have an Amazon list. So any of those places. If you do end up donating because of this readathon, because of my reading or anything like that, please let me know. You can leave a comment, or if you want like more anonymity, you can message me on Instagram. The main reason that I want to know is because at the end of this, we're also going to be kind of putting all of our numbers together so that we know kind of how much as a book community we ended up donating over the course of this readathon. I personally am going to be donating $5 per book that I finish, plus $3 for anything that I start and stop. So anything that I'm in the middle of by the end of this readathon also counts towards it. So far as my reading goals for this readathon, I want to read a book a day. So that's at least 7 books throughout the course of this. And I do have some specific ones I want to get to. But first I wanted to talk a little bit about why I chose My Sistah's House. While I know that there are some initiatives focused on getting queer people out of states that have these really awful laws and stuff happening recently, I think now is also the time where we need to help the people who can't leave. And those who are going to have the hardest time are going to be those who don't have the monetary resources. And the people who are going to be most heavily impacted by these laws are people of color. Our ideas of gender, particularly the ideas of gender that are going to be policed in Tennessee specifically, with a law that has officially passed that outlaws public female or male impersonation. However, that is defined by the police or judge, I guess. The people who are going to be impacted the most are going to be people of color, because their ideas of gender have been constructed fully around white supremacy, and the people who are and have been historically policed in terms of gender the most are people of color. So when we're talking about who is going to be impacted by these laws, who needs to be supported in the places impacted by these laws, people of color and youth are the main people who we really should be focusing our resources on. So with that, I'll talk about some of the books that are on my TBR for this readathon. First, I have Transgender Warriors by Leslie Feinberg. And I'll say it here, but I've said it 1,000 times before, and I'll probably say it 1,000 more times. But if you have not read Leslie Feinberg, you need to. They talk so much about solidarity, what it means to be in community with each other. They're most famous, I think, for Stone Butch Blues, but they have another fiction as well, Drag King Dreams, and I've read their other nonfiction work, Trans Liberation, which was really great. So I would recommend any and all of those. However, this is one that I have not gotten to. It is focused on trans history, So I'm really excited about it. Another nonfiction book that I'd like to get to for this is I Hope We Choose Love, A Trans Girl's Notes from the End of the World by Kai Ching Tom. And this is an essay collection that I have been looking forward to get to for quite a while now. Next, I have Content Warning Everything by Akwaeke Emezi. Now, Akwaeke Emezi is another author that I've talked a lot about because they're absolutely incredible. I haven't read any of their poetry yet, but a lot of their literary fiction reads very poetically, so I think this is going to be pretty amazing. Then I have Magical Boy, which is a graphic novel that focuses on a trans boy who was born into a line of magical girls, like the manga / anime trope. This looks really cute, and there's an additional volume, so if I feel like picking it up during the readathon, I do have that option. And the final physical book that I have on my TBR for this readathon is Different Kinds of Fruit by Kyle Lukoff. This is a middle grade novel. I'm honestly not too sure about the specifics of the plot of this, which I'm totally fine with. I really honestly mostly bought it based off of the cover. I'm sure it's going to be adorable. The author is a trans guy who has written several other things that I have not read, but if I like this one, I'll probably check out his other work too. Now, aside from these, I would like to read some books digitally as well. In particular, the main things that I have that I think I'm more likely to get to are the novellas that I have. And the three that I think are towards the top of my list are Peter Darling by S.A. Chant, which is a trans Peter Pan retelling. Whenever Is Your Heart by Anita Kelly, which is the first novella in a series that's focused around the same gay bar, and the main character of this, or one of the main characters, is non-binary. And The Companion by E.E. Ottoman, which I'm not really sure of the synopsis of. I think that I impulse bought it when I was buying a bunch of other trans novellas and was interested in it. So those are the main three that I might get to. Other options that I have if I wind up in an audiobook mood, which would be super convenient. On Hoopla, I have available Confessions of a Fox by Jordy Rosenberg, The Natural Mother of the Child by Chris Malcolm Belk, which I actually also have in physical form, so I could dual read it if I wanted to, and How We Do Family by Tristan Reese. Confessions of a Fox is one of those that has been on my TBR for a while, and I have forgotten the synopsis too. I should probably look it up for this, but here we are. I'd kind of rather go into it not really knowing very much anyways. The Natural Mother of the Child and How We Do Family are both memoirs that focus on trans people who have had kids and kind of their process, either through pregnancy or afterwards. So that's kind of an idea of what I'll be focused on during the Trans Rights Readathon and during the Queer Weekend. If you're participating in either of these readathons, let me know about some of the books you plan on reading in the comments below. And if you're planning to donate or otherwise support any trans organizations, let me know who they are as well. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye.